What a welcome. Thank you for that. You know, something's definitely going on in this room today. Can you feel it? I mean, there is a real buzz, and I'm really excited because of the feel in the room today, because actually it really ties in very nicely with the talk I'm going to share with you this afternoon. It looks pretty impressive up there on the screen, doesn't it? And even when I look at it, even I think it looks pretty impressive. However, I want to rewind and take you all back to the start of an incredible journey. I think it's fair to say that for all of us, at some stage in our lives, we come to the realization that we're just not living the life of our dreams. Can anybody relate to that? We're just not living the life that we always felt that we should be living. And I can remember that day, for me personally, as if it were yesterday. My background was in farming, sheep and horses. And I have to say, I was a good farmer. I had a good life, but I had no money. I had no time. And even though life was good in the farming sector, I'd reached a position in my life where I'd gone through a nasty divorce and a complete change of lifestyle. Has anybody ever been through that? A complete change of lifestyle where you just think, oh my goodness. And I was a single mum with two wonderful young children, and I just got them off to school. It was a very wet, miserable February. And the postman had just been. Several envelopes were laying on the doorstep. I reluctantly went to pick them up, knowing in my heart of hearts that my life was pretty tough at that moment in time. But life couldn't get any worse, could it? The first letter I opened was a phone bill for £89. The second, a reminder for the car tax. And what was really interesting, if you'd seen my car at the time, it wasn't even worth as much as the value of the car tax. And I was thinking, my goodness, where am I going to find that money? The third was a letter from my landlord saying that as of the end of March, he was putting the rent up on the property that I was living in. And I looked around at my surroundings and I thought, £550 a month for this dump. And lastly, a letter from the school reminding me that the spring trip to France for the boys was £160 each. I put my head in my hands and I realized at that moment I was living a life of quiet desperation. No future, no prospects. No prospects outside of my farming career. I was going nowhere fast. Something had to change because I was going under. And that may seem a pretty gloomy picture to paint when we've had such an exciting day, but there's a reason why I'm painting it quite like this. Because I know for many people in this room, some of you might have been at that point in your life. I put my head in my hands, and I said to myself, something has to change. And I believe that we are the creator of our own good fortune, that we are the creator of our own luck. Would you believe in that? And on that miserable day in February, I knew categorically that something had to change. But little did I know just how different my life was going to become. Because I decided that if my life was going to change, the only person that could change it was me. If I wanted a different life, the only person that was going to change it was me. And I had a major paradigm shift. Major paradigm shift from feeling quite sorry for myself to actually feeling ready for something. I didn't know what it was, but I was ready for something. And I decided on that morning that I was no longer happy to live a life of getting by from one pay packet to the next, from one job to the next. I wanted to start my own business. Now that's a great thing to be thinking when you've never had a business of your own before. But I'm in control of my own destiny, right? And that's the key. All of us have that gift. of choice. We are in control of our own destinies. What's amazing is that as you have a paradigm shift and you begin to think differently and act differently, it's amazing what changes in your life, very often without you even realizing it. But two things changed in the next few months. The first one was I met John. And the second one was I went on to meet this amazing business. And this amazing business, alongside John, has taken me from living in pretty poor conditions to being a self-made, highly successful businesswoman. So that was the start. And when you look at that, I have to be able to relate it back to the start. Because there are many people sitting in this room today that probably think, oh, it's all right for her, she's a diamond manager. I think sometimes people just think you kind of get there without any effort, without any work, without any ups and downs, without any emotions, without any challenges. And the reality is, it's a journey for each and every one of us. It's a journey, and it's a very exciting journey. So Forever came into our lives, and it was very, very exciting for us. When we put our signatures on that application form, it was with high hopes, very high hopes, that all we dreamt about and were hungry to work for would become a reality. Isn't that an interesting thought? That was our mental state at the time, that when we registered with Forever, that everything we dreamt about, if we were prepared to work for, would become a reality. Little did we realize just what our lives would look like 18 years on. And we would have been so successful that actually, even now, I still have to pinch myself. But a question that we get asked regularly, in fact, I've been asked it a dozen times today, is how come you've been successful? What have you done? What do you do? How do you do it? I get asked that question all the time. And the answer to that question is exactly the same as you. Exactly the same as you. But maybe we have an ingredient that some people lack. And it's this ingredient today that I want to talk about. And I would like each and every one of you to write down, because I believe this is the missing link to success. And maybe, just maybe, what we have is a different passion to other people. And a different commitment to achieving the passion that is so very, very important and to what really matters to us. That word passion is going to change the lives of people in this room as of today. It's something that most people don't connect with, that most people don't truly understand. But tell me, has anybody felt the passion in this room today? Is there anybody that's been on this stage today that you believe has got passion? Because you immediately were attracted to them, weren't you? When they walked on this stage, you immediately knew there was something about them that was different. I'm telling you, the difference is passion. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. In our first 5 months in Forever, we had what I call an immediate passion. An immediate passion. And for all the brand new people in the room right now, probably that's where you're at right now. You have an immediate passion to make something that's important to you right now, in this moment in time, to make something for you. For us, this was a huge need to make £2,000 a month. When we joined Forever, that was what we saw immediately for us. We weren't network marketing professionals. We didn't understand this direct selling concept. We weren't already experienced in the industry. We'd done our research, we'd found out what we needed to find out, but when we registered with Forever, it was not to fail, it was not to quit, it was not to have a go. It was because we knew this was the company that would allow us to achieve our dreams and goals. If we could just make $2,000 a month, gosh, that would take the pressure off us. That would help with the rent, it would help feed the children. When you've got 4 children at home, they don't take it lightly that the fridge is empty. It would help to pay to run the car, for clothes, for pocket money, for insurance, and all that stuff that we need on a daily basis. I would imagine everybody in this room needs an extra $2,000 a month, am I right? So that was what I call our immediate passion. And it was something that we were committed to working hard for until we achieved it, with passion, with focus. And then within 5 months, we were making in excess of £2,000 per month. But more importantly, we were really enjoying the business. So, what did we learn in order for us to get to our first goal of manager and to achieve that £2,000 per month? Well, here we go. This is the simplicity of what one has to do to build a business. Because sometimes, when you come to a big event like this and it's lots of recognition and lots of testimonials and lots of stories, a lot of people say, yeah, but what have I got to do? What have I got to do? Tell me what to do and I'll go and do it. Is that right? Okay. We learnt how to share the product with passion. And I am so delighted that we had Alan on the stage this morning, because I have to tell you, I've known him for 11 years. I didn't know the products had been that beneficial in his life. Wasn't that incredible? Now, do you think because he had those results and because he connected with the products, he had a passion in the way he goes and shares them with other people? Did you pick up in just the language he used, in the way that he was talking about how he lets people feel it, he never misses an opportunity? Do you believe he was connected with a passion to the product? Well, that's exactly how we were on day one. I must admit, when I first joined Forever, like Alan, we had our concerns. Aloe what? Aloe who? Never heard of it. 18 years ago, you had to go to the library and look up to see what aloe vera was. We didn't know anything about aloe. We didn't have Peter Atherton. We didn't have David Urch or Dawn. We didn't have anything. We had 4 or 5 bottles, all in the same colour, all with the same writing on them. And it was very, very interesting if you put the wrong product in some way you shouldn't have put it, because it all looked the same. But we decided that the simplest way to generate passion around these products was simple: use them. We saw incredible results on our youngest son, Marcus, in clearing up his eczema. I saw amazing results. John stopped snoring. I tell you, that was worth its weight in gold. My dad came off his Gaviscon. He'd been chewing Gaviscon for years to help with acid indigestion. My hair was soft and shiny from the shampoo. We all loved the tooth gel, the soap, the deodorant. We had enough to go on by using the products as a family for me to go out and share stories with passion. And I want to really emphasize that what we do is we share stories about these products with passion. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a product specialist. Please don't ask me to anything too technical on the products, because I don't know specification. But I'm passionate about these products in everybody's home being used on an everyday basis. And you know what? It was fun. It was fun letting people try the product. And it was mesmerizing when they rang up and ordered more gel. Especially when you're a new distributor and you try it yourself and you think, interesting flavor. And then it totally shocks you when your first customer rings up and asks for more. In fact, my response was, really? So suddenly we had customers, and we began to get repeat customers. So when somebody asks me what you have to do, here's job spec number 1. If you want to be a successful distributor, you need to build a customer base of anywhere from 25 to 30 customers who are happily purchasing the product off you each and every month. Simple. That's the job requirement. And I'm a simple person, and I thought to myself, well, if that's all I have to do in order to build the foundation of a great business, then I will go and do it. And like Alan, we still have customers today that have been with us for 18 years that still buy the product, still love it, still recommend it to others. We've seen them grow up, their families grow up. It's been incredible. We've seen them have a healthy lifestyle. So do you think, everybody in the room, that you can do that? Is everybody committed to doing that? Is there anybody who's passionate about doing that? A few of you, good. I know Anne is. I can see her down there. Now then, what else did we have to learn in order to be successful? We had to learn how to share the business with passion. You see, Forever is not just product, it's not just business, it's both. And I had my concerns initially. Of course I did. I'd never shared a business with anyone before. I was a farmer. I'd sold sheep. I'd sold a few horses, but never really shared a business concept, a business model. So remember, I could either stay in that thought process or I could embrace change and I could focus on what needed to be done to give me the things that were important in my life that I was passionate about. So we decided to learn how to do it. We decided to learn how to share the business model with passion. And I have to tell you, I'm not good with numbers. I'm number dyslexic. And I have to tell you that I don't know figures and percentages, and I get them all upside down and back to front, and I'm no good at them, but I found a way to learn them, and it was called practice. I had a reason to learn. You see, if you don't know why you're doing it, if you don't have a passion for something, you don't know why you should be learning it, and it's easier not to do it than to learn to do it. It's easier not to do it than to learn how to do it. But I was passionate about making that income per month, so I had a cunning plan. And here's how I learnt how to present the numbers, the money, the marketing plan, without any aids, without any lovely presentations that you have now, but just by writing out on a bit of paper. And what I did is I used to pay the children. I used to pay the children their pocket money if they would sit and let me practice a one-to-one on them. And I'll tell you, it works. You know, if they didn't sit down and listen, there's no pocket money. Children like pocket money. At the age of 10, our youngest son could explain the marketing plan, no problem, on a piece of paper to anybody. And he was also doing quite well from his pocket money as well. They needed pocket money, I needed to practice. You could say there was a double-edged passion all around there, couldn't you? But passion is what drives the need to learn. It's easier not to do than it is to do. So what else did we learn in those early months? We learnt that you have to be passionately consistent with activity. And it's this area that I find that most people fall down in. In fact, I know they do because I have. But this area is so vital to your success that if you don't focus on it, then we can't guarantee you'll get to the top or to achieve what's important to you. Now let's say, if you ask me, what do I have to do to build a business? I say to you, you've got to develop 25 to 30 regular customers that buy product from you every month. Whatever product, we don't mind, as long as you've got the customers. And the other requirement is you've got to speak to 5 people a day. 3 about the business, 2 about the product. What would you say? Okay, now let me ask you another question. Let's just say you're all in a big interview. And I'm going to employ every one of you. You've impressed me so much, you're all employed. And as a result of employing you, I'm going to pay each and every one of you, as of Monday morning, £100,000 a year. How do you feel about that? Isn't it amazing? Job mentality, but there you go. And you then say, okay, Jane, well, if that's fine, I'm really excited about my 6-figure income, but what have I got to do? Okay, what you've got to do is you've got to develop 25 to 30 regular customers under the umbrella of Forever. Do you think you can do that? And in order to learn the products, you've got to use them, you've got to share them in your family, and you've got to go to some training. Can you do that? And you're thinking, that's pretty easy for 6-figure income. And then I say to you, and the other thing you've got to do is you've got to speak to 5 people a day, 3 of them about the business and 2 about the products. What would you say? No problem, you're paying me a 6-figure income, right? Here's the sad thing is, if I were paying you, you'd do it. That's the sad thing. If I were paying you a 6-figure income, you would put on your job hat, you would enter your office on a Monday morning, and you would do it. But for some unknown reason, when you're doing it for yourself, what happens? Oh, we'll just go and water the garden. We'll just go and wash the car. Oh, it's a lovely day, I'll go and put the washing out. You want to have a coffee with me today? Oh, perfect. Anything but make those phone calls. Now, here's the thing. When you implement discipline alongside passion, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's amazing what happens. I'm going to share with you the consequence of not doing what I've just suggested you do. The simplicity of the business, I said, was develop your customers and speak to 3 people every day about the business. I didn't ask you to worry about the outcome, did I? I just said speak to the people. I don't mind if the people you speak to say yes or no. What I mind is that you make the contact. Let's just assume that your requirement is 3 calls a day about the forever business. Actually, I believe this is the requirement of success minimum for anybody who wants to be making 3, 4, 5,000 a month. If you want the bigger money, you've got to be doing a bit more. I don't think it's a lot to ask for a dream lifestyle, do you? Okay, but here's what would happen. If you did that for 6 days a week, you'd be making 18 telephone calls per week. If you think the average call takes about 10 minutes, that's what? A couple of hours' work. Do you think you could all do that? Now, I'm going to tell you what happens if you don't do it. Let's say that you decide you're only going to make 1 call a day. You do that for 6 days a week. By the end of your first week, you're 12 calls behind. Doesn't matter, I'll make them up the next week. But you never do. So by the end of the first month, you're actually 48 calls behind. Never mind, I'll do them all next Sunday. No, you won't. And by the end of your first full year in Forever, with that attitude of I won't do what needs to be done, you'll be 576 phone calls behind where you need to be. Fast forward that, over a 5-year period, you are over 2,800 phone calls behind where you need to be. The consequence of that is you've missed going diamond, you've missed an income of over £250,000 per year, you've missed the freedom, the lifestyle, the security that it has to offer, all because you only made 1 call a day and not 3. Can anybody afford to lose £250,000 a year within 5 years' time?